Statement on Law Tech?
Yeah, so obviously coming off a real big win on Saturday, we went right back to work yesterday, watched film, went out there and had a good practice last night, and now new challenge Louisiana Tech. Sonny Cumbie does a great job. He's a good guy, and he's got those guys playing hard. They played a tough game against LSU this last weekend. We were able to sit down, and watch a little film last night. Started watching it this morning. Staff's in there working on it. So, obviously we had a great game against them last year. Went right down to the wire. We had to end up blocking a field goal, sending it into overtime, and getting a big win there. Now we're on the road. I think you can kind of see Conference USA is kind of wide open right now, just from the way things have been playing out. So we're excited about it. We're excited to get on the road with this team. It's a new challenge, playing on the road. You get a new group of guys, together and traveling. But at the same time, I'm excited about it. It's been good to start off at home 2 weeks in a row, getting off to a 2-0 start. So it'll be good to kind of hunker down with the guys, get on the road, back against the wall kind of mentality, and go out there and go fight for a win. So we're excited about it, and it's another great opportunity.
Question?
Starting in conference play, third game into the season, can I just ask how you're feeling about that, especially knowing the start you guys have kind of gotten off to?
Yeah, you feel good about it. You can't feel too good. You just because you got to hunker down and get ready to go fight again. So again, it's always good to be. To be 2-0 to start the season. Again, it hadn't happened here in a long time, I think 2014. But having said that, none of that's going to help us on Saturday. So we got to hunker down. We've talked about it the entire time. It's really about the processes. So, there'll be time to kind of look back and reflect later. But right now, you got to focus on the game plan. You got to continue to grow and get better. Again, we've won 2 games, but there's areas we still have to improve in. And I think everybody's kind of doing that. But, we'd like to challenge our guys this week and make some of those improvements.
What have you seen from La Tech's performance against LSU last week, and just some of your takeaways?
Yeah, they played scrappy, they played tough. LSU tried to take a bunch of shots early. You could tell they kind of went in with mentality to try to, run away with it fast. And, they end up throwing a bad pick. And, they took a bunch of shots. And, when they settled down, LSU obviously is a really talented football team. But La Tech plays hard. Sonny's got those guys playing hard. They play physical on defense. That defense that LSU had is stout, and you showed it. They got one score when LSU blitzed the corner, and they left the receiver totally uncovered. He just ran down the field, uncovered. So, again, it'll be a different challenge, but we're excited.
Are you preparing for the quarterback? I know they made a change at quarterback in the game against LSU. They said something, I guess their starter had food poisoning or something. So how are you preparing for their quarterback situation?
Yeah, I don't know about the food. Maybe I haven't read that yet. But he played the first 3 quarters, and whether they changed it because he wasn't playing well or just because they were down 20-0 in the fourth quarter, and those quarterbacks were getting hit quite a bit in that game. So sometimes you're just rolling guys to keep them fresh. So we'll find out as the week progresses. Kind of hear what he has to say in his press conference. But whoever does play quarterback, we'll be ready for it.
King and Mikey Lee, are those guys are they going to be good to go for Saturday?
So Lee is out for the season. He'll have ACL surgery, so He's out for the year. Yeah, and then King, we're still waiting, kind of week to week. Got to get him healthier. But those guys are out right now. But for right now, everybody else looks good.
Can I ask what TK's dealing with that's kept him out?
He's got a little hamstring.
Okay, right, left?
Left.
Just to add on to that, just for TK came in, that's probably projected to be one of the top guys in that receiver room. Just for your receiver room to be performing the way they are right now, just what does that, how does that feel knowing you've got several guys that are
the one thing I talked about from the beginning was the depth of the room. Obviously, King was a guy that we were really excited about, but he wasn't the only one. There's a lot of receivers in that room, and I talked about that extensively throughout the course of camp, that we had 7 or 8 guys that I felt like could make plays. And heck, you saw the freshmen last week get there in critical situations and make third down catches. It was big. Obviously, Donnie Propel. You've seen PJ over the last couple of weeks. You got Pride sitting right here who's able to make catches. So that room's got a lot of talent in it. So when he gets back, that'll just add to it.
Ezra, you were a pretty late addition to the roster. I think you were added. I saw that you were added about middle of July, sometime around there. But you were able to make an impression, show up on the 2 deep, and you've been able to play a lot, even though maybe you were added pretty late. Tell me, first of all, what made you want to come to New Mexico State, and also just because you were such a late addition, some things you had to do to kind of get up to speed and get going.
Just my relationship with the coaches. Coach Sanchez actually gave me my first offer out of junior college, and he and I had a relationship since then. Once I entered the portal, it was no-brainer to just come out here. And I mean, it was other schools, but my relationship with them and Coach Enna, just kind of, it was too, I couldn't pass that on. And I've not regret coming here so far.
So far?
Well,
He wants to leave.
it's been really good. It's been really good. I just, they're coaching me hard. I'm enjoying out here for sure.
What are some things maybe you did once you got here, and maybe the couple weeks you had before fall camp started to kind of get going and get adjusted before things happen pretty quickly?
Just how easy they make things for me, and just understanding the culture and how fast they got me going with the playbook and everything else. And my relationship with them, like I said, it just made it a lot easier for me, to be acclimated.
DJ, I wanted to ask about Donovan. He's at good friends with him, I guess, as well. He showed out in fall camp, got a starting spot, and his past 2 games have been really good. And so, just tell me what you've seen from him in fall camp, and just your relationship with him, and just what kind of guy he is.
I love Donnie. So even back last year when he came out with his whole medical ordeal, I knew Donnie would have been a key player for us last year. But then having Donnie back this year is just like. It's like day and night for the offense. Like, we have way more weapons out there on the field. When you got Donnie out there on the outside, now it's like you got to wear a guy on the outside, on this side and this side, not down the slot. So Donnie coming back was just like a key piece for us. And my relationship with Donnie is grown tremendously from last year to this year, because now like we've grown closer as like me Ed growing up more as a sophomore now, and him being a junior. We're just like we kind of talk more about the game and just everything that goes on out there.
During the game against Tulsa, there was a lot of struggles offensively, but then those 3 consecutive scoring drives in the second half, you guys got going. There's a couple deep shots. You got the quick game going a lot. Tell me what you feel like you guys need in order to get that passing game going consistently for you guys' conference opener.
For sure, I know we had Coach Joseph. He talked about it yesterday. We got to get our run game going better so it can open up our more of our passing game to get us out there and get us the ball more out there on the outside, for sure.
Speaking of the run game, Tony, just what have you seen maybe just on film from the Bryant game and also the Tulsa game that you feel like is missing? Maybe it's on the offensive line?
Yeah, you're just kind of putting the pieces together. I mean, that's the area. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the area you probably got hit the hardest, as far as transfers out and new guys in. And we've got some quality guys, but it's putting all those pieces together and getting them to be on the same page, And then you have the first game, and then Lee goes down, so now you add another piece of that puzzle, right? So there's a lot of guys that have, played 8 quarters of football that hadn't been around here before. BJ's really kind of the only one that's been here playing. And so I think getting the group on the same page. We got to do a good job of coaching them up. We just got to make sure we're occupying our territory, and we got to do a great job of playing with pad level and and getting down. And if we we've talked about it too. We need to simplify things too. At the end of the day, we got to get a body on a body. We got some talented backs. We haven't had a chance to see him, do much yet, but I know it's coming. Again, the one dynamic that we have now that we did not have a year ago is we can throw the ball around the yard. That running game will come. We're committed to it, and we'll get them going.
Ezra, just 2 games into the season, defensively, you guys have shown flashes of how good this can be. Several clutch stops against Tulsa last weekend. And just how is the defensive unit kind of feeling right now, heading into week 3 of the season?
We're feeling good. We're well coached, and we play together. And I feel like that's something special about this team. We play together, and you guys are going to see a lot of that this year. And yeah, I feel like how close we are, and how much we trust each other. And I feel like that's gonna translate on and on and on.
Tony, just La Tech also has a pretty good defense along with you guys. Just what are you expecting to see, or how crucial is it going to be to perform on that side of the ball on Saturday, knowing you got another good defense?
Well, we got to continue to grow offensively. We got to put points on the board. Defense is playing really well right now. You saw that in the first half of the last game. I think we went 6 quarters and gave up 3 points to start the season, which is outstanding. But you can't ask them to hold on that long all the time. We're going to have to be more productive in the first half, and that I think that's a key thing. Their defensive coordinator does an outstanding job. He came over from Jacksonville State. You saw the year they had last year. Obviously some different personnel, but they're going to be aggressive. They're going to run a 3-man odd front. They're going to put a guy over the center, so we're going to have to do a really good job there. And again, it's just us continuing to grow. I tell our guys all the time, it's really about us. We got to take care of ourselves, and if we do that, we'll have a great opportunity to go win. But they're a good team, and they've been Again, they've been really aggressive. You saw it in the LSU game how physical they can play. So it'll be a great challenge for us.
Last year, game went into overtime. You guys got the better end of that game. Just how much do you take away from that experience in that overtime game?
Not much. They have a brand new offensive coordinator. They have a brand new defensive coordinator. Obviously, with the portal, there's a lot of new players on the field. They do return some guys. I think they returned 6 starters on defense, which is more than most that you end up playing. But again, with the new coordinators, there's new philosophies, different ways they attack you. They're going to be a good football team. And again, the last 2 years, we've had some really competitive games. The last time we were up in Ruston, we were able to win that game, and and they had a chance to go up big on us. We ended up getting a good stop down there as they were trying to punch it in on the goal line. And then last year, the overtime game. So these games have been very competitive, and I expect it to be again.
Ezra, during the last game, though, you actually went down for a little bit, and you had to come off the field for a little bit and get some stuff checked out. Just what was maybe going on there, and also what was maybe going on the sidelines for you to get back again and then get back on the field and make some plays?
I just had a little stinger, try to make a tackle and fell on my ankle, but taped it up. I'm good. I'm good to go. So yeah, wasn't really anything to worry about.
Tony, just with Tyler, obviously played last weekend. What's kind of just forecasted for him regarding his hand? And will he be playing in every game, or?
Yeah, he'll play in every game. I mean, he's fine. He's good to go. It's one of those deals where that cast will come off when it heals up. We got a bye week coming up after this, and then that you get into that October where you get those elongated. So hopefully by the end of October, maybe that cast comes off. But I mean, again, still with it on. I mean, he made that great play where he popped the ball up. We got the interceptions. He ran around, made a bunch of tackles. So. If it was up to Tyler, he'd probably put a hook on that hand, what I'm saying? He's a character, but he's fine, and it's football. We're going to get banged up like that. Guys are going to, you gimp off the field and get back in there and get going. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about toughness. As the season goes on, I tell our guys all the time, you're not going to be 100% the rest of the season. You're going to be banged up. You don't play injured, but you do have to play hurt. And our guys they're tough and they get that. So that's why he went back in. That's a great night. But we have a lot of guys, and then I'm sure the other team we plays too. I mean, we got a lot of guys that are going to be banged up and feeling the toll of the season. But I tell them all the time, that pain is a privilege. So enjoy it.
Tony, I wanted to ask about something that the NCAA Oversight Committee did recently. They voted in favor of just one transfer window, I believe, at the beginning of January. You've been a long advocate for that. Just what are your thoughts on now that that's been approved by the Oversight
Well,
Committee?
I mean, I think the players, should have an opportunity to change venues, so to speak. If they need to, if they have an opportunity to make some money. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, obviously, I like the old traditional stuff, but I get both sides of it now, right? But the spring portal is nonsensical, and I think we all agree with that. I mean, you haven't played a game. You've been paying players. You haven't played a game yet. They have and all it is tampering. That's all that's going on in the springtime is coaches reaching out to guys on your roster, right? Or having collectives reach out, and they're trying to make up for some of the holes and mistakes they made in the spring. They know where they have holes, right? But having the one portal window, however long it'll be, I know it's proposed 10 days, which I think is good because once you're in for the long haul. I think it's healthy for the game. At the end of the day, I think all of us coaches and honestly players too. I think if you change venue or you do what you need to do, you should be able to coach your team for one solid year. You should have 1 year where you have your team, you coach your team, and then if things change, they change. But you shouldn't be sitting there in May going, oh man, I gotta fill 6 or 7 spots. I love our team, and we're going to have a good season and do some great things. And it's just so funny when you sit down and you're watching, games before you play, and you're seeing all these guys that were running around with you in Artesia in the spring game, and they're running around playing on other teams, and they're like, that was only a couple months ago. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even last season. So that's wild. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, good for those guys. But I think it's healthy for the game. I think we're starting to realize that, we need to put some parameters around this. The NFL's got their parameters, NBA, Major League Baseball. We need to kind of grow up as an organization, right, and put some guardrails on this thing.
For TJ and Ezra, just the opportunity on Saturday to go, 3-0. Just what would that kind of mean to you guys come Saturday?
Going 3-0 for me, obviously, and the team, it'll be a great step for us in the right direction for what goals we have set on this season and everything that we have that we want to achieve. So us going 3-0 would just mean a lot for us, and always put us in the right spot, even in the future for the next week or after our bye week. We know go up to UNM. We got to go whoop on those boys. You know, just to keep the mentality of the 1-0 every week would just be what we're aiming for.
Ezra?
Yeah, I think going 3-0 is a huge thing for us. I know that a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people don't believe in us at all. But you know, it's a new team, and I know we can do. We got the guys. We have the staff. We have we have the ability to go do it. And I feel like we're ready for it, and we're going to be ready for it.